What's going on, YouTube? It's been about a week since we covered up our boat with our new Amazon cover. We did get a pretty nasty storm the other day, so my hoop looks like it fell over. I don't really know what happened, so it did pull up some water. It's not terrible, but I guess we'll pump this out real quick and figure out what happened. Alright, so we got all the water out. Looks to me like my little pipe hoop that I made came undone, probably from the weight. Not a huge ordeal. Maybe I'll actually glue it this time. But that's good enough. That was just that. Quite a bit of water in here. There's about 40 gallons of water on the ground. Let's get this on. Let's get this bad boy uncovered. Alrighty. Yeah, so we just need to glue the cross pieces from the hoop and it should be fine. So today we are going to be installing some goodies. It's been an expensive week. Got a new water filter, water separator / fill filter, spark arrestor, brand new starter, brand new PCM fuel line, the one that goes from the fuel pump to the carburetor, brand new PCM fuel pump, new whatever the hell the air cleaner thing for the spark arrestor, and a brand new Holly carburetor. Very expensive. These things have gone up about 60% since the pandemic.
Daddy?
Yes, sir. Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi, YouTube.
Hi, too.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Say YouTube. There you go.
What is
So, as you can see, this thing was $850. I found it. Where the hell did I find it? Allstate carburetor out of New York. We are in Florida. They did not sponsor this video, but they were the cheapest that I could find with the best return policy, and we went with a brand new one. We were gonna go with, I believe it's called National Carburetor out of Jacksonville. I can't remember, but it's rebuild. I don't want to deal with a rebuild. I want brand new stuff in the boat. I don't have to worry about it. So today we're gonna get the new starter installed, get that wired up, new carburetor, fuel pump, fuel line, fuel filter, and we're gonna go get a fresh 5-gallon gas can, and we're just gonna dump the gas can, or we're gonna dump the fuel line right into the gas can, and we're gonna see if this puppy will start today, or at least turn over. I haven't gotten the fuel tank cleaned out yet, so we'll get to that this week, maybe tomorrow, and we'll go from there. So let's go get some tools. Alright, so we're going to start with the starter. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Let's get this thing thrown in. So for my starter, for the exciter wire, normally they have this little leg and then you put a one of those spade connectors on here, but they always wiggle off. I have the same problem with my damn golf cart. So I actually did this years ago. Just put a regular ring terminal on here with a lock nut and a nut, and now that exciter wire can't come loose. So that's what I like to do. Whether other people do it or not really my concern, but it's up to you. I like doing it because the damn wire would come loose all the time. And just a pain in the ass. Alright. Starter is in. Pretty self-explanatory. Get your 2 bolts, battery wire. This is the, how do you call that? The, whatever the hell you call it, the solenoid. And then the jumper wire for the ignition. Alrighty. A bunch of water in there. We are going to clean up all this rust with that rust remover that I have. And we're just going to pretty much coat the entire engine and make all that shit go away and make it look nice and clean. So we might actually do some of that today, possibly, before we put the new carburetor on. But we're going to move to the other side and do the fuel pump. And try and break the fuel pump loose. It's going to be fun. Alright, so got our fuel line. Oops. So this fuel line's pretty nasty. It's probably fine, but I don't want to deal with it. So we're just going to crack this loose. Crack the top loose up here. I believe this is a 1/2 inch 13 millimeter. No, I was wrong. It's a 14. I gotta find my 14 wrench. Take these off. Take that off. Crack this loose, and then we're gonna try and break the water separator off. I got my fuel filter wrench. It should pop off. I'm very curious to see what's in there, so maybe we'll break that loose first. Alright, so those are not working. I'll have to go get one of my elastic stretching ones, stretching oil filter things, or go buy one, get that loose. Meantime, we're just gonna pop this off. Hopefully it comes off. Like it will. We may have to pull the housing out, which are these 2 9/16 bolts, and take the whole filter off and possibly go buy a new one. Not that that's what I want to do today, but do what I gotta do. Well, this ain't off to a good start. Holy Jesus. How long is this damn thing? Alright. Let's go grab another wrench. I got the right size wrench. It was a 16. Not a 1/2 inch. This thing's on here pretty freaking tight. That one's loose. That one's much easier than the bottom one. Got the top loose. Oh. There we go. Inside's actually still in good shape. I don't know if you can really see in there, but it looks like shit. It's going in the trash. Now we gotta try and get this off. I'm gonna pick up some more fuel hose because I can't get this goddamn fuel line off without ripping it. Loose, it just doesn't want to come off. And I already ripped the fucking thing. So we'll do that. We'll break these off and take this loose. Alrighty. This fuel pump still looks pretty decent, honestly. We may keep this as a backup just for shits and giggles. Probably keep it as a spare. But yeah. Gasket scraper, even though it didn't look that bad, we're still gonna do it anyway. Not bad at all, actually. Necks are in the same spot. I don't remember what that's for. That's different. Mine don't have that. But alrighty. Look at that, it even came with 2 gaskets. Alright, new fuel pump's mounted. We'll take these necks off. I gotta get a wrench big enough or something. Break those off, re-Teflon them, put them back on. Still slightly concerned I can't get this goddamn fuel filter housing off, so I'm gonna keep plugging away with that and try and get that off. We're gonna keep this in here as a spare, so I'm sure it still works. The PCM line comes up in here. That's the one. Mount there and there. Boom. Almost be like this place brand new. So we had to get this out of the boat. I don't know where my big pliers are, so this is the best I could do. Pipe wrench, filter, and beating the shit out of it with this crescent wrench to get it to break loose, and I finally did break it loose. It's still pretty tight, but I want to video this so you guys can see how nasty the fuel is. So we're gonna, can't really see that, but there we go. We're definitely gonna hit this with the brass brush, clean all that shit up, get it as cleaned up as possible. In here, I don't know if you can really see it or not, but there's all kinds of grit down in there. Fucking gross. But that's what happens when you let your boat sit for 7 years. Alright, so we're gonna get this cleaned up. I got a brass brush here somewhere. And soak her down with some brake cleaner. This will work. With a brass brush, and then put her back on and work on the fuel line and the carburetor, And we're also gonna start running this on there, which is Reassembly Rust Converting Metal Primer. So it'll turn all that rust back into black. I use it on my dock, on the I-beams for the boat lift. I got some little foam brushes. We're gonna start doing that before we put the carburetor back on, so everything gets a nice good seal so it doesn't continue to pit. I got some foam brushes back here somewhere. I don't know where they are. I'll find them. I gotta clean this shit up. Alright, we're gonna clean this up and then we'll continue. Alrighty. Get everything cleaned up. This is final result. It's pretty much raw aluminum. I let it soak. I scraped it out as best I could with a brush and a screwdriver. I got some carburetor jet cleaners. I ran them up and down those orifices. Let it soak again, blow it out with the air compressor, and I'm happy with it. So we're gonna put this back on in a minute. We also took the old fittings off the old fuel filter, cleaned them up with brass brush, and put new Teflon on. And we're gonna put all this back together now. Alright, fuel filters nice and snug, fuel lines back on, hose clamps. I do need to pull the slack back towards the back of the boat, but that is it for now. Now we're gonna try and get this shit out of here, scrape off all this nasty crap, and then we're gonna use some of that Kuro seal. Actually, we'll probably take the carburetor off first. Let's do that real quick, and then we're gonna start taking as much of this crap off as we can, and then we're gonna give the motor a nice coat, well, at least all the stuff underneath, with the corrosive seal stuff, so we can clean everything up. Ooh, is it hot? So here we go. As you can see, there's a lot of shit down in there. That's one of the pieces for that. I gotta put that back together. This goes, that goes right here. So we'll put that back on. No idea what that is. Completely corroded. So we're gonna go get the vacuum, maybe wire brush it the best we can, and then we're just gonna coat that stuff all over the lower intake and anything that won't be accessible with all the linkage and everything hooked back up, and then we'll be moving forward. We're also gonna put a nice coat on the transmission as well, clean that all up. Fuel line, trash everywhere. Alrighty, let's go get our vacuum and start cleaning this up. Alright, so we got our vacuum. We're gonna start plugging away at this, get as much of the big scaly rust off as we can, and then we're just gonna start with a little foam brush and some of our corrosion seal, and we'll do a night and day different, or a before and after picture of how she looks when she's done. Alright, upper plenum's pretty much done, so we're just gonna send it and see how it looks tomorrow. So it's a good coat on here. I just like to dump it in a Dixie cup and a little foam brush from Home Depot or Harbor Freight, whatever, and it's coated on there real good. Alright, upper plenum's pretty much done, so we're just gonna send it and see how it looks tomorrow. So it's a good coat on here. I just like to dump it in a Dixie cup and a little foam brush from Home Depot or Harbor Freight, whatever, and it's coated on there real good. Hey guys, camera died during filming, and I just went ahead and finished. So, but yeah, this is what she looks like now. Quite the difference. I will take some before and after pictures, or I'll post before and after pictures, but what a difference on what it looks like. Again, Kuro seal. It's biodegradable. I mean, I got some of it on the carpet, but I'm really not that worried about it. But I used a foam brush like that one over there. Oh, hey, Puma. And just caked it all over the engine. And then, like, certain areas where it was really bad, I kind of just puddled it. So you can see that blue stuff in there. It goes on kind of like a creamy paint. I do need to hit it again, so I'm calling it quits for today. But I did the transmission. I did the transmission mounts. I did the risers, top and bottom, all the way. So I even got all down in here, whole side of the block, bottom side of the risers. There might still be some spots, but I even got in behind them. Got all the bolts, got all up in here, and I'm really impressed with the way it looks. So, we were gonna try and fire this thing up, but for some reason, the ignition's dead. It's working, but it's not kicking the starter. So, I don't know if there's a fuse or maybe the solenoid is bad. I mean, it looks pretty new to me, but there is some rust in there, so maybe it took a crap. I don't know. There's a lot of things it couldn't be. I'll figure it out. But yeah, that's what we got accomplished today. I also went ahead and ran in some new power wire, which you can see the lead hooked up to the battery with our 100 amp disconnect breaker. So our Fusion MSRA50 unit still works, surprisingly. However, the amp does not. We have plans for that. That will be taken care of soon. We are not going to reuse the... Oh, nice little spider. We are not going to reuse the RA50. I have a RA70, which is slightly larger. So I gotta modify that little kick panel that I made to fit the larger radio, but we'll go over that probably next weekend. And we're gonna cover up the boat. Actually, we'll probably let it sit out for a little bit, let all this stuff dry, and then cover it up and hit it again tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, and I thank you.